This is That Talking Podcast. I'm JJ Starr.
And I'm Downtown Andy.
Welcome, welcome. We're here to talk and bring some civil discourse to an otherwise discordant world. How are you?
A little less self-conscious now that we're not video.
Yeah, we are strictly audio right now.
We are VR.
We are.
VR.
I can
I
tell
just get to
you.
remember that.
Yeah, I'm having a hard time
Breaking into the business?
breaking into this whole video thing. It's
Learning how to edit
hard. Yeah, man. This feels like it should have been a class that I was taught at some point in my life.
Maybe try a different program. I mean,
I'm trying all of them, baby.
Yeah. Are you using iMovie?
I was going to.
I mean,
but it won't let me do what I want to do.
When I did my old podcast, I mean, I taught myself all the ins and outs of iMovie. And
I taught myself how to do all that shit too. It's not doing what I want it to do, though.
Well, that's what YouTube tutorials are for.
I have made my life much more complicated by doing this video podcast for you. So it may be taking a little while for the videos to come out, but they will come out.
We don't work for you.
No, we don't work for you. We'd like to, but we don't.
How are you?
I'm okay. Mm-hmm. You know, I'm hanging in there. Yeah. It's been
we can't say we've had a day because they're not supposed to know what day this is.
I don't even know what day it is, honestly.
Again, we're in that mode of like recording multiple episodes in one shot, and it's just like
it's all good.
Because at the end of this, when we're plugging stuff, we're gonna have to be like, oh, by the time you see this,
yeah. But anyway, before we get into today's topic, we're going to discuss the rules. 3 rules.
Which rules?
The rules.
All of them?
The rules.
Every
Rules
one of them?
1, 2, and 3. No judgment, nothing personal, and don't be a dick.
I think just because you said that, I'm going to be a dick.
Don't be a dick.
All right, fine.
Thank
I've made it
you.
this long.
Yeah, you've gone this long.
If you would ask some people, they'd tell you I am a dick. Like,
I think people
by
would say
nature,
you're an asshole.
I am naughty by nature.
You are naughty by nature.
I'm down with OPP.
Yeah, you know me. We got started. We were talking earlier today. We were talking about the idea of for the second, well, not the second week in a row, but the second week that we have taken note of it. Our town, well, I guess technically third because, you know, the congregation of Gilmore Girls fanatics last week, but there is a thing going through this town where people are congregating, people are banding together, and I don't even want to say that they are protesting anything. I don't want to say that they're even like some sort of cohesive.
I know where this is going.
They're not making any cohesive statement and everything. It's just people gathering on the town green with random signs. Like they're not even
complaints.
Yeah, they're basically just complaining.
Well, isn't that what we're doing here?
Well, it's public. We have grievances.
We know what we're complaining about.
We have notes. But that's just it. Is that I think like I'm noticing this trend now where people just they need something to complain about, and I'm not complaining about it. To each their own. I would like this to not devolve into a platform we use to just complain about stuff.
That's right. We were talking about this at home. I mean, isn't that what internet chat rooms used to be for? It's like for people to bitch and moan about movies and shit.
No, I thought that's where people just went to, ASL each other.
ASL. I haven't heard that in such a long time.
But I thought
kids today probably have no idea what that means.
No, you don't.
I'll be honest, I forgot.
Google it. Google that shit.
We're in the middle of a podcast. No, but this morning and I think 2 or 3 Saturdays ago, there were mass protests.
It's not even a protest, though.
Mass gatherings on our town green of people with signs, mostly complaining about the current administration.
Yeah, but random aspects of it, like nothing cohesive.
You've got people complaining about the tariffs. You've got people complaining about gay and trans rights. You've got people complaining about... those are the main ones that we noticed, or that I noticed at least.
No. I saw signs about Medicare. I saw signs about Elon Musk. I saw signs about abortion. I saw signs about reproductive rights. I saw signs about taxes. I saw signs about gas prices, and I'm just like, Pick a message.
So it's a
pick a message, people.
It's a long-winded way of saying that there's a bunch of Democrats out there with grievances against what they believe that the current administration is working against.
I don't even know. I truly don't even know.
Like, everyone's got it in their minds that the Republicans and Donald Trump and Elon Musk are anti every socialist movement, that they are anti-gay, anti-trans, anti-Medicare, anti-veteran, anti-immigrant, like I don't want this to become political, but there's no way to avoid it, okay? Because I listen to political podcasts. I've refrained in the last couple of weeks from listening to political podcasts. I've needed some Bob Ross days where I just listen to Happy Little Trees and get, calm while I do my job. But whenever I do listen to the current ongoings in the world, especially in the world of politics, all of the podcasters are happy to report what the administration is doing, and even happier to report on the people who are complaining and angry with it.
See, that sounds like sour grapes. That sounds kind of shitty to me. The idea that they're happy to report that people are complaining about it.
I mean,
like, that's kind of being a dick.
It certainly is.
Yeah.
But
I mean, that's just like, look at all of this shit that we can rub your face in.
Okay. I like to give my thoughts from as far steps back as I can get.
Okay.
I like to look at the forest from the trees.
Okay.
I try not to. I can't not be biased. Okay, it's like the one thing that came, the main thing that came out of our conversation on the ride home was the fact that, and this goes for both sides, if either side does something positive that should theoretically benefit everyone, the other side of the aisle is never seemingly going to be able to find any good in it or be able to be happy about it, and that's really shitty.
We were talking about the idea that, yes, and I don't want this pigeonholed into politics, though, because that's just it. Is everything feels political now because everything is being politicized. Every aspect of daily American life is being it's being weighed one way or the other, and it doesn't feel like it used to be that way. It doesn't seem that, like, 20 years ago, the movies you watch are not based on, an actor's political leanings. The TV shows that you watch and the music you listen to didn't have anything to do with whether or not they support the DNC or the RNC. It's like, now everyone needs those stats before they can form an opinion about whether or not they feel some way about something in their life. And that it's like, you can't, it's like, well, heaven forbid you use Amazon.com or you go to McDonald's because you're just supporting one billionaire or another. And it's just like, okay,
I mean,
your point.
I refrained from Amazon for a long time because I didn't like the fact that their existence put a lot of my favorite stores out of business. But now when you want certain things, you don't have to go through them. I mean, I went through eBay for a long time.
Yeah.
But how do I know that people on eBay weren't getting their stuff from Amazon? Like,
I mean,
I'll admit I like the convenience of getting it next day, but
I don't want. We're getting sidetracked though. Not a sponsor. But
really,
but
I mean, you order a lot.
But that's just it. Is that, like, I don't want this to devolve into one side of the aisle, quote unquote, complaining about the other side of the aisle, because to me, that's not what this is about. To me, this is really just, I mean, it's symbolic of a bigger issue, and that is the fact that no one anymore seems content to take an idea that wasn't theirs. It's like,
take an idea. You mean take a position?
To accept an idea that wasn't their own.
Okay, I think
so. Like, the idea that, like, just to keep it reasonably understandable for an analogy. Yes, let's say a Republican came up with a policy that is beneficial to Americans. Great. Regardless of its benefit, a Democrat will look at that policy and find a reason to be upset with it. We were talking about, that RFK has been talking a lot lately about autism. We have had autism awareness in the month of April and everything.
We know autistic people.
We know autistic people. It is understandable that this is a relevant topic to talk about. And I have seen Facebook flooded with bitching and moaning about how he shouldn't be talking about autism as much as gun violence. Heaven forbid we talk about something that's not gun violence for once, because gun violence is not the only problem plaguing this country.
You were always a big advocate for RFK long before he conceded. I still am. And you admirably have said since day one, you don't care who gets in. You just hope they make good on their promises and they do good for the country.
Yes.
And that's a very admirable position because, again, I didn't like that Biden was in for 4 years, but I'd hoped that he would help out the country, that he would do right by the country. Did he?
No.
Not really in a lot of ways, because otherwise, the fact that I see people on the internet saying that he was the best we ever had, are you fucking delusional?
I couldn't tell you one thing he did.
I know Trump's no saint, but at the same time, in his first 90 days, he did a lot of things.
His first 90 days or his second 90 days?
Second 90 days. Hell, maybe even in his first 90 days.
But to go out on a limb and say that Joe Biden was the best president we ever had that's a stretch of the imagination, to say the least.
The more I listen to these things, the more podcasts I listen to, the more I see these things on social media and everything, the more I realize that, again, we're at a point now where no matter who's in office, no matter what party they're affiliated with, they're not going to please everybody.
No.
They're not going to be able to get everything done that they want to.
Nope.
And no matter what they do get done, it's going to step on somebody's toes.
Absolutely.
Because, for example, if somebody champions, pro-life rights or whatever, it's going to step on, pro-choice rights or pro-choice advocates.
Yep.
If they enact
and vice versa.
If they enact new gun legislation, it's going to step on the toes of Second Amendment advocates. It's upsetting to me that there's seemingly very little bipartisanship going on.
Yes.
That people are not putting their own personal opinions aside and coming together for the greater good.
Yeah.
Because everybody seems to want to be at each other's throats over the most ridiculous things.
I remember when, we first started sort of entering the age of what the buzz has referred to as cancel culture. And I was having a hard time with it. I'm an intellectual. I'm a very smart person. But
how full of yourself are you?
I went to schools and I had a hard time with it because I didn't understand the point. I didn't understand what we were doing. When we were at Dairy Queen and we were talking about the Foo Fighters. And you said it doesn't matter because Dave Grohl is a piece of shit.
I think, in my personal opinion, he is.
And that is perfectly fine and right.
Anybody who cheats on their spouse is a piece of shit.
And that is perfectly within your right to have an opinion. Does it make the music crap now?
It skews my opinion of it.
It skews your opinion of it. So you no longer like the Foo Fighters based on your opinion of Dave Grohl as a person.
One, I never really liked them to begin with. I mean, I like certain songs, sure. But my opinion was already skewed of him because of other things that he has done.
So now let me ask you the same question in a different way. Is American Beauty a bad movie if Kevin Spacey is a monster?
No. Because the movie was not written by him. It was not conceived by him. He just played a part in it.
So you are able to separate the art from the artist.
I'm also a rational human being.
But this is, when we look at it on that sort of scale, why can't we apply that to the realm of politicians and things like
We
that?
absolutely can, but the problem is that people today don't want to.
Why? That's what I don't understand. We would rather be so angry that everyone has to be canceled.
Because
we have to demolish our love of things and people and industries and media and everything. We have to tear it down to its roots and examine the roots for whether or not it's good or evil.
we are not only currently living in the age of information and information at our instant fingertips,
Yeah.
but we're also living in the age of outrage, of people who will go out and say, if you're not outraged by this like I am as instantly as I am, then you're part of the problem.
That really, that's one of those that I don't even bother reading
Like, have
anymore.
you heard these stories about hired protesters, about people who go to
Yeah.
rallies and stuff who are paid to protest?
Absolutely.
Now, we said this in the car too, and I've said this for years. I think protesting is stupid of any kind. I have said ever since, at least in recent memory, the George Floyd riots, but probably before that. To me, and you made a very sensible point after I said this, but I don't feel like any protest yields anything positive. I feel like most of your, especially in recent memory, protests are just gatherings of outrage, and they don't lead to anything productive.
Well, this is just it. Is I don't appreciate these groups using, and I say groups, I mean groups of outraged people insistent on demonstrating, because I don't appreciate people misusing that word. A protest is to protest something. Okay? If you are just gathering somewhere, if you are just gathering to complain, that's not a protest.
Or it's not a demonstration.
Exactly. It's barely a demonstration. Like, if you want to stand outside with a sign and a bullhorn and tell people that if they don't, if they don't believe in something, then they're gonna fall off, kind of thing. Like, that's not a protest.
What did you say earlier that was apples and oranges?
That's when we were talking about RFK, and we were talking about that, he's talking about autism, and people are talking about, well, how can you stand there talking about autism when gun violence is really the issue?
How is anybody going to say that to him?
I'm like, I beg your pardon?
Like, do you realize who this man is?
Yeah.
Do you realize how many of his family have been lost to gun violence?
Like
he gets it. This is a bigger problem.
That's just it. And it enraged me.
Like even just from a statistical standpoint, do you think, we could probably look this up right now, but those of you listening, go look up the statistic. Is there more people in the country currently who have symptoms of autism, who are autistic, or are more people killed by guns every year? Which one's higher? And which one do you think deserves more attention, realistically?
But that's just it, is that why are we pitting them against each other? They're not
totally separate.
They're not the same. It's always been my same issue that I take, the same umbrage that I take with people who say abortion rights, reproductive rights versus gun rights.
Gun rights, yeah.
They're
has
not
nothing to do with the other.
Fucking same thing. They have nothing to do with each other.
It's like people who deflect when they don't get the answer that they want.
Seriously, it's like those things are in no way related to one another.
Well, you just proved my point to be wrong, so now I'm going to change the subject and try and point out that you're a bad person because of your opinion on this matter instead.
I mean, that's like if me, right here, before you, your wife, if you were to come to me and say, I have such a headache today, and I were to say, yeah, well, I just worked 14 hours.
One has nothing to do
exactly.
with the other.
And it also doesn't disqualify you from having a fucking headache.
Like, remember a couple of weeks ago when we were talking about the guy who left that post on my wall about the post office being privatized?
Yeah.
Okay. Like I said earlier, I got into this with the same guy earlier today about, I don't even remember how it got started, But we're talking about politicians in the news and things that they're doing and whatnot. And I'm just like, oh, he was talking about Bill Maher. And he's like, we knew he was a scumbag from the beginning. You know, he's not fooling anybody. And I'm just like, no, you didn't. No, you didn't. Because until people started switching sides and switching opinions and waking up and realizing that, yes, it is the difference between apples and oranges when it comes to a lot of these topics, okay? Nobody had a thing to say about them, okay?
Yeah.
People seem to forget that before he was a candidate, okay, Trump was on The View pretty frequently.
Mm-hmm.
Now all those women shit talk him left and right, but if you go back and watch those episodes, he's sitting there, they're laughing, they're cracking jokes, they're having a good time. Similar things happened with RFK, Tulsi Gabbard, John Fetterman, who was the other one? Bill Maher, you know, all these people who, Elon Musk, prominent Democrats, either currently or at one point in their life, they start to explore bipartisan solutions or opinions or completely switch to the other side of the aisle. And now all of a sudden there's a target on all their backs by the outrage agenda.
Yeah. And I think that that's it.
That's the biggest hypocrisy of all.
Well, that's what we've been saying for who knows how long at this point. When you talk about preaching tolerance, and you cannot be tolerant of everyone.
Honestly, in my opinion,
your preaching of tolerance is complete hypocrisy.
I just think these Democrats are mad because they're losing numbers.
I don't know. I mean, it could be. It certainly could be. I think they're mad because they didn't get what they wanted and they don't have the opportunity to take their ball.
So they're just being big babies.
Yeah, everyone's just being a big baby. And every time people lose, whether it's political, whether it's, who knows what else it could be and everything. But when you lose
with grace and dignity and you get over it.
Just lose. Dust yourself off and get back on the horse. Like, what is the big deal about that? What is the big deal about that? Why take a day off of work to stand in front of someone's business and yell at people?
I've said this before, okay? Growing up, most of my life in Connecticut, in a historically blue state, okay? Most of my friends, especially within music and arts and all that sort of thing, have always been Democrats or pseudo-Democrats or non-political people who lean left, okay? Has that bothered me? It's gotten under my skin a little bit because I don't really have anybody to connect with my ideals and beliefs, okay? But I accepted people for who they are, and I try not to judge, I'm not going to say I don't judge, that'd be a lie, but I'm human. But I was very upset, as most Republicans and right-leaning people were when Biden won in 2020. But when that happened, I mean, I watched the his acceptance speech or whatever, and I probably even watched the inauguration. And I said, we'll live to fight another day. We'll deal with it for these next 4 years. It's not going to be great. I didn't realize at the time how awful it would end up fucking being, but we'll deal with it. And in 4 years, we'll see what happens. Yeah. And I was totally prepared for Kamala, whatever how you pronounce her name, to fucking win and deal with it for another 4 years. Do you know why? Because I said the same thing when Obama won, okay? He had his 8 years, and I'm like, all right, when 2016 rolls around, see what happens, okay? I'm also the type of person, unlike many people that I know, who find the good in all of it, okay? Because at least while when Obama was in office, our store was doing very well. We were doing a lot of business, okay? It was great for once Trump got in, everything kind of tapered downhill. Republicans in office, people don't think they're going to lose their gun rights, so, nobody's really buying guns. But everybody thought they were going to lose their guns, so that's when they came in droves and bought, whatever. Throughout this entire time that Biden was in office, everything from groceries to energy to real estate to mortgages and rent to everything went up in cost. 40-year high inflation, and he did zero to combat that. Zero. Which made it so that my side businesses outside of my main employment could not, I repeat, could not thrive. I was not able to do business because people didn't have money for the things I was selling when they were spending what they made on necessities.
I still...
That's not a partisan issue. That's a fuck you, get our economy working again issue.
Yeah, no kidding. I still, every time I drive past the Citgo, I look at the sign and I see that gas price change daily.
I mean, that's nothing new.
At this point. But daily?
Oh, yeah. Even when I was
I'm like, what the fuck is going on? I'm like, what is like... I don't understand.
I was working at a gas station in 2009, and it used to be my responsibility to change the numbers. Like,
I have only ever, like, when I was living in New York, they changed the price of gas on Wednesday. That's it.
They used to want me to...
We never did it every day.
Like, on your way in, scope out the 2 stations down the street, tell us what they are so we can change ours accordingly.
That's so dumb.
I mean, at the end of the day, how are you not going to subsidize necessities? Like, we all need food. Mm-hmm. We all need electricity. Mm-hmm. Like, we all need basic human comforts to get by. And you're going to allow us to pay $8 a carton for a dozen eggs? You're going to like...
Well, didn't you say eggs went down?
They did. Finally.
Yay.
Not under Biden.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if Trump had anything to do directly or indirectly, but again, in his second 90 days... he's made good on a lot of campaign promises.
Well, good.
Now, people are out there complaining about... Why complain? Why bitch and moan when it's just going to fall on deaf ears, when you could be the voice of influence to try and get your point across and make the man and his team care?
Even if you want to stay mad, right? Let's say that the government does something that really benefits you directly as a person, as a citizen. It does something to benefit you directly. Not like a check in the mail or anything like that, but like some policy gets put into action that trickles down and affects you directly in a positive way. Even if you wanted to stay mad, why not just say, well, it's about time they did something good? Like, that right there is an insult, and it is a bitchy thing to say, but it's not changing the conversation. It's not redirecting or deflecting. It's just saying, well, fine.
See, that's a conversation I have with my Democrat friends.
Like, why fucking not?
A lot, which is explain to me how what they're doing on a daily basis affects you directly. Does it really affect you directly? And most of the time it's, they deflect to some other conversation, but the answer is usually no. Like, for example, in more recently, what I've been hearing from podcasts is they're dealing with deportations, which, by the way, immigration is at an all-time low. You had however many thousands of people entering this country a day versus now it's like not even hundreds. So that's one thing that got started. Okay. Price of everything's going down. Chickens are finally coming back.
Yay, chickens!
They're starting to talk about autism, okay? RFK is starting to do what he said he was going to do about, the ingredients in certain things and what's unsafe to consume.
Yeah.
They're talking about the trade deals and the tariffs, and they paused the tariffs.
Yes.
To make time to speak with heads of other countries to talk about negotiations, which is what you, as a responsible head of state, should be doing.
And now that is all people can talk about, is just like, oh, well, you wanted this, and now look, you made it done. It's just like, oh my God.
Like, it may have taken more than a day or two, like he said, but he got Zelensky to the table for negotiations. He's working on getting Putin to the table for negotiations. He's actually active in his role, versus how many times couldn't we find Biden? But
that's just it, is that it's not even that...
Actually...
Like, it's not even that, he's doing these things. Because people are not complaining that the government... I'm not even going to say Donald Trump specifically, but the government overall. They're not complaining that these things aren't getting done. They're complaining that, why is this the priority?
See,
Why is this what we're supposed to be focusing on? How is this going to benefit me? And it's like, you didn't have a problem bitching and moaning about the fact that, these things aren't getting done.
Because it's my money and I want it now.
Exactly. Now you're angry because it's not your team that is doing the prioritizing.
Right.
No one is sitting around saying these things that this group of people wants to talk about, we're going to pretend that shit doesn't even exist. No one's doing that.
It's not like it's not going to get done.
Exactly.
It's just...
No one is saying that these issues are not important. They're not saying that they are garbage. They're not saying that these people are stupid or wrong or anything like that. They're simply saying, okay, slow your roll. We're going to do some of this shit first.
But everybody seems to think that just because it's not getting tackled now, that they think it's not going to get tackled at all. And getting back to what I was saying earlier, again, what the fuck does Ukraine and Russia have to do with our daily lives? Pretty much nothing. Okay.
Correct.
What does Hamas and Israel have to do with our daily lives? Nothing. What do the tariffs even really have to do with our daily? Oh my God, I'm not going to be able to afford the car I want, or I'm going to have to pay a little bit extra for the imported goods that I really. It's like, is that really going to affect your wallet? Not really. And you have options. You can buy elsewhere.
That's just it. Is that if it does get to a point where you cannot actually afford certain things, then you get to choose something else.
Perfect example.
Like, that's how it works.
I just shipped out that guitar that I sold, okay? Through us, they wanted to charge me $90 for ground based on the weight, the size of the box, where it's going, all that, okay? UPS, $40. Now, I don't know how the hell there was that much of a difference, but you damn well better believe I'm going with the cheaper one.
But that's just it, is that the idea that no one has a choice.
Everyone,
I don't have a choice. I don't have a choice.
This
is my only choice.
You know
why?
Like,
no, it's not.
That's the perception, because that's what they're getting from their talking heads. That's what they're getting through their social media and through their sound bites and through everything that they're being told by people who couldn't give a shit. Everybody says Trump couldn't give a shit about the general population. Your talking heads couldn't give a shit about you as a commoner, as simple folk. Like, you really think that the people at CNN and MSNBC and even Fox News give a shit? No, they're the ones who don't give a shit because they're sitting in a cushy chair with a nice salary, and they're the ones who get to be on TV every night telling you how bad you're getting fucked.
You actually heard that from Tucker Carlson after he left, when he was talking about the way that they made him report things, the way they insisted that he talk about these topics in this way.
Every major figurehead who left legacy media, Don Lemon, him, and that's why you have people.
Oh, I miss Don Lemon.
I don't.
No,
no.
I found
He's an
him.
asshole.
I found him amusing.
This takes me back to when you and I would talk about the differences between like Steven Crowder and John Oliver, you know, and the more, I think we touched on this in an earlier episode. I get it. Most of it is satire. Okay. There's some kernels of truth. You know, a lot of these guys do like to report the news while making fun of it. But at the same time, it's just like, you know, you have to get your news from somewhere. And I'm so cynical at this point. It's just like, I feel like I can't tune into any station and just get the facts.
Yeah, you can't.
I'd really like to.
Yeah, it would be nice.
You know, I honestly don't even really find the humor in the Crowder show or Ben Shapiro. Ben Shapiro was never supposed to be
He's
funny.
not funny.
But actually, I sent you a link yesterday to a clip of Charlie Kirk where a student at a university. Did you watch it?
Yeah.
The student challenged him. He's like, you know, you're this famous guy and you come to and do these Q&As and you usually have all your facts prepared and ready to go. And what the student didn't anticipate was that Charlie said to him, go get one of your professors. Go get a few of them. I'll debate them anytime about anything. And the thing is, based on watching him as much as I have, I think he would. And I think he'd do fairly well.
I don't see why. I mean, you know, like...
Because that's just it. Everybody wants to be right, and nobody wants to look compromised.
That's just it. Is everyone is so damn determined to be right that you don't... Like, the idea of... Going back to where this started, the idea of protest, the idea of public demonstration, the idea of debate, albeit even uncivil debate, there is no win. You're not supposed to win, because the only way to win, I guess the only way to win a debate is to change people's minds, is to prove that that your perspective and your opinions on a subject are more acceptable than someone else's, there's no win. The point of debate is to challenge each other's perspective. It's not about winning. So when these kids are going up there and talking at Charlie Kirk like they're going to trip him up or something like that, and even when he rings it back at them, which he does from time to time, like the same way that Crowder would do and everything like that, it's like they're trying to prove each other stupid. And it's like, you're not doing it right. I want to shake these people and just be like, you're not fucking doing it right. That's not the point.
The college Q&A and the college demonstration is it's more about the entertainment factor now than it is about actually enacting any sort of real progress.
Yeah.
Like, again, I understand that these talking heads are about satire and they want clicks and they want ratings to perpetuate their business. That's what it's about. It's really just about the business.
Yeah.
It's about getting eyes on their product so they can make more money and do more things. Kind of what we're doing here. But the difference is that at the end of the day, I don't care if we have 200, 2,000, 2 million followers, listeners, whatever. Okay?
I do.
I don't.
I love you out there.
I don't care. I didn't start doing this to get rich. I didn't start doing anything to get rich.
No.
My wants are simple and they always will be. Okay? Now, a lot of people think that that's naive or foolish or whatever it is.
To them.
I don't fucking care. I don't care who's in the White House. I don't care who's in charge of Congress. I want to be able to enjoy my simple life, make enough money to get my necessities, and maybe have a little fun on the side. And I don't think that's too much to ask.
Yeah.
But there are, from time to time, people who stand in the way of that. And when somebody tells me that decisions that they're making are going to affect my livelihood, that's when I'm going to stand up and get loud. I don't like getting loud and I don't like getting confrontational, but you damn well better believe that I will.
I'm going to get confrontational with the people who insist that I don't have my priorities straight.
Who is that?
Oh, they're out there. Those same people that say the bullshit about if you're not outraged, ... If you believe ... then ... Like the if then argument that's a solid goodbye from me. Like that's when I did my last purge on social media because I was just like, I'm fed up. I am not going to pass a test in order for you people to decide whether or not I deserve your friendship or attention or anything like that. Fuck off. I don't care.
And that's precisely why I don't, put a lot of stock in my relationships with my coworkers. Mm-hmm. I'm friendly with some people,
mm-hmm.
Some of them have been to our house. I've seen them. Sometimes we've seen them outside of work, know. But to me, like, again, we're not all super close and we don't need to be. If, because we have differing opinions and it's, our different ideologies, they do color our opinions of each other.
Sure.
There's really no avoiding that at this point. I mean, again, this is not new territory to me. I have surrounded myself with people I've disagreed with for most of my life. Mm-hmm. The reason I surround myself with them is because we share common interests in other areas. Mm-hmm. And that, to me, supersedes our political differences.
And I think it should. Now, that's just my opinion.
But now they're not necessarily going to see it that way.
Well, because it is an opinion.
Like, I like guns and I don't like abortion. If somebody doesn't like guns and wants to be able to be pro-choice, far be it from me to stop you.
Does it stop you from wanting to associate with that person?
It depends on their attitude towards it. Like, if they're going to come at me and say, you're stupid for believing or try to make me feel like I'm mm-hmm. a lesser human being for mm-hmm. what I feel, then that just makes them a shitty person. And I'm not going to want to, why am I going to want to listen to that? Like
that's where you hit it on the head.
Like the guy who purposely put that article on my
mm-hmm.
wall just to incite a debate. And it's just like, don't you have anything better to do?
That's just it. Don't you have anything better to do?
Don't you have a life?
If you have a life, friends,
like when I'm bored and I need something to do, I play one of my instruments or I play a game. I don't look for somebody to argue with.
Well, you have me.
we don't argue.
We don't. We debate. Ha.
And we care enough about each other to know that, we follow our rules.
We have the rules for a reason.
Yep. And at the end of it, we still respect each other's opinion.
Absolutely. Regardless of what it's about we can hear each other's opinions just like we can hear the opinion of any other person you put in front of us and understand that their opinion is their own.
Like within my band, my current band, I love that we can have our discussions, have differing opinions, and still respect each other, mainly because of the fact that we've known each other most of our lives.
Yeah.
Okay? And that's the best part about it, is that we agree to disagree, okay? And still want what's best for each other. Mm-hmm. Versus the last band I was in, where one member in particular couldn't have cared less about my feelings and just wanted to make me feel stupid for believing what I believed and feeling what I felt.
Yeah.
Despite the fact that I still wanted what was best for him, regardless of our differing opinions. Yeah. But it wasn't reciprocated. And now we don't talk to each other.
I have, with everything that's been going on with me lately, it crossed my mind to wonder, not enough to reach out, but to wonder how his health is doing, because I know he's not doing well, but that's just the type of person that I am. Do I think that he has given my health a second thought in the last 3 months?
Probably
not a fucking chance.
And that's just it. I would have taken your position up to a point, but he has hurt me so much more than he's ever helped me. Mm-hmm. And it makes me just not want to care. So, we have our differing opinions and our different feelings, and I don't. Not only do I not expect an apology, I don't even really want one.
No,
I don't want
that has gone by the wayside.
I don't want the frustration and the aggravation back in my life. So you know what? He's dead to me,
and that's perfectly fine, because that you are entitled to feel that way. You're entitled to feel that way, and anyone is entitled to feel the way that they feel. That's a fact. If you challenge that fact, I personally think you're a little bit stupid. Okay? Because this goes for everyone. You cannot say you are entitled to that, but. No.
There is no but.
There is no but. The answer
now
is
you're making it conditional.
Exactly. You are entitled to believe what you want, feel what you want, say what you want, do what you want.
Period.
And you cannot be intolerant of someone else being entitled to what they are entitled to. The same way you are entitled to feel or think or do. And just because those two things are different does not mean that one of you gets to be right and one of you gets to be wrong, because that's not how it works.
How much time we got?
We're at 43. We can wrap it up. We've been recording for a while. You have any final thoughts?
We could go on about, we could really we could go on just telling stories.
But this is just it, is that, largely, I do not want this to devolve into us complaining, because I don't think we're complaining about the state of things, the state of the union. I don't think we're complaining about people doing things that bother us and everything. I don't think we're really complaining. And I don't want this to become a platform where we just air our grievances.
The bottom line for me is that, one, I will never attend a gathering of any kind for any reason, no matter the cause.
Weddings, funerals.
I will never attend a demonstration.
That's fair.
Because I've got better things to do.
That's fair. The only demonstration I really want to attend is like a magic show.
And I will learn to live with whatever the outcomes of these things may be.
And I think it would be nice if more people thought that way.
It would be nice. Wouldn't it be nice? But, more people should be open to these sorts of conversations. Otherwise, we're not going to get there.
Yeah.
And we are at least trying to do our part in the influencing,
You hear that out there in podcast land? This is all your fault. do better.
Based on conversations with you, I am making an effort to not let these things get to me like they used to. Because again, the one thing that's come out of this is that I am noticing the things that piss me off way more than I ever did. But it's not that they're happening more or less. Yeah. I'm noticing them more as I get old, and I don't want to.
Yeah.
I want to be able to live my life the way I want and be happy about it and not constantly be at odds with the people around me.
Which is a very peaceful way to live.
But some people won't allow me to have that because they want to ram their ideals down my throat, thinking that I'm going to either engage them or even give a shit.
But wouldn't it be so much better if everyone just allowed people their peace?
You'd have to talk to them.
Like, I don't understand.
Because I don't ram mine down any like you and I are having this conversation, and I've talked about what I feel and what I believe. This is the platform for it. If people don't want to hear it, they don't have to listen. Yeah. But out in public, out in a regular conversation, I'm not going to talk about this stuff because it's not the place. If somebody asks me my opinion, I'll give it, but I'll also follow it up with, I really don't feel like starting one of my friends called me yesterday. Isn't this the day that Jesus died? And I'm just like, don't you have anything better to talk about?
Don't you have other friends?
Oh yeah, this is the time this is airing, and that was Good Friday. And anyway, and he's Jewish. Oh man, don't get me started down that road.
No, there's no need for that.
No.
Oh, well, thank you out there in podcast land for listening to this one. This was a good one. This
was on the road to productive.
Yeah.
This was in the vein because, just respect people. Just be respectful of people's right to believe and exist.
I'd like to think that our doing this and our the civility with which that we do this and everything, and the tolerance and acceptance that we have for even combative opinions and perspectives and everything, I'd like to think that we're doing our part to help engage people to be more compassionate with their debating.
I want to end with this because when this airs, it'll be a couple of weeks, I think, after WrestleMania, and Triple H was inducted on his own, and he gave a very impassioned speech about his thanks for everybody in his life that helped him get to where he is. And at the end of it, he talked about his health scare. He has a heart condition. He's got a defibrillator inside his chest now, and he said that he's always been a influence on my life, both not just as a performer but as a person, as a father, husband, everything. And he talked about how his scare changed his perspective on and made him appreciate everyone and everything that he has even more, and ended his speech with just go out there and try to uplift people, try to see the potential, and rather than be something that tears them down, be an influence of uplifting and help people get to where they want to be, because it'll do so much for you.
That's nice.
And that's just one more example of how that man, not Triple H, but how Paul Levesque helped me, Downtown Andy, be a little bit of a better person.
I'd like to think that his next challenge will be to save Christmas.
No, Kiss already did that.
Thank you out there in podcast land for listening to us. Find us on social media. DT Andy and JJ Star with 2 R's on Instagram. Also, find Tax Collectors and Harlot. Love hard art.
Are you going to mispronounce your own company?
Love art.
La, la, la.
La, 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 la. And Coat of Arms Tattoo. And you have a show coming up on May 9th.
May 9th and May 31st.
Yep, May 9th and May 31st.
I think I remembered it this time. The first one's at Bleachers, the second one's at Main Street Tavern.
Yeah, so be there or be square. And find our website, thattalkingpodcast.buzzsprout.com, and send us a text message. You can also do it through Apple Podcasts. Send us your questions and concerns and comments and, conversations for the future. And, that's a full lid. From the 3 of us at That Talking Podcast, I'm JJ Star.
And I'm Downtown Andy.
And we'll talk to you later.